Well, it is 6 o'clock. First on Connecticut's news station. How should Connecticut spend some unused federal funds? Well, the debate's over and a bill is on the governor's desk, but of course, that doesn't mean everybody agrees with it.
Next year's budget will take many heroes and many programs from our school.
Calls to fully fund Hartford schools are growing louder. What the mayor is saying in response.
The Grayson family will not rest until we ensure that this never happens again.
Calls for accountability and change after the death of a home health care nurse last year. We'll tell you what the family of Joyce Grayson is doing.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning to you. We are starting with the forecast because we have some thunderstorms possibly to talk about. Yeah. Some rain moving in as we get over to Matt Scott. Maybe some stronger ones.
Well,
too?
yeah.
Maybe?
I mean, we're getting into that time of year where it's a clash of the cold and the warm air, and that usually leads into some trouble. Good to have you along on this Wednesday. 2 rounds of rain we're going to be dealing with. Round 1 coming in the next couple of hours. That's going to bring us some more consistent rain coming through, mainly towards the end of the commute. But it's later on today that we'll look for a better chance of some storms with a little oomph. We remain unsettled down the line. Here's the cloud and radar picture now. We're fine, although the clouds are thickening up and off to the west over the Catskills down into northeastern PA. Couple of thunderstorms. Look at the light show moving out of Harrisburg into Allentown. 55 in Hartford, 59 in New Haven. It's a nice start to the day, but watch as the guidance shows that by 8 o'clock in the morning, we've got a couple of these spot storms that'll be pushing through. And again, not going to rule out thunderstorms this morning, and we'll have to watch for the intensity, but it's later on. It's a little more widely scattered, but there may be a little more punch to those cells later on as well. We'll be watching for that. 56 degrees and increasing clouds now, 70 later on. Not everyone's seeing these storms, but if you do, take cover because they may get tough in a quick hurry. We'll talk about that and an unsettled forecast for the rest of the week coming up in a few minutes. Let's see if the roads are settled or unsettled. First time this week, I get to say hello to Rachel Piscatelli.
Good morning, Matt. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed your time off. You had a perfect day yesterday. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'll put the tip money in the jar.
Thanks. I'll be waiting for it. All right, 6:02, almost 6:03 right now. And we are following one crash over in Westport this morning that may slow you down on your travels to the state lines here. 95 out by exit 18 and 17 described as an overturned vehicle. We know that one lane is blocked at the moment and travel speeds are now around 7 miles per hour, so it is slow there. Your drive times to the state lines now, New Haven to New York, that delay is going to set you back just around 20 minutes at an 80-minute drive. Your travel speeds are around 38 miles per hour southbound 95. Tim and Erica, good morning.
And good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, today, Hartford's Mayor Aruna Arulampalam will make an announcement that he said he hopes will address all the challenges that Hartford School District is facing.
Now, this comes after teachers and neighbors rallied yesterday amid school budget shortfalls that could result in hundreds of jobs being cut. Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us live right outside Weaver High School this morning with more on what we can expect today. Angela, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. And that announcement that's happening today, 2 p.m., is a number of appointments to the city's Board of Education. And the mayor also expecting to make more announcements in the coming weeks regarding a long-term plan to address the challenges that this school district is facing here in the city. In the backdrop of all this is anger and frustration over the proposed budget for next school year. This was the scene. Take a look at this last night here at the high school as teachers and neighbors voiced their concerns. Hartford Public Schools is still facing a $31.5 million budget shortfall compared to last year, and that's even with a just announced $10.5 million added back to the school budget. Now, that shortfall could result in hundreds of lost positions, including social workers, school counselors, paraeducators, and custodians. The district acknowledging that this year's budget process has been challenging because of COVID relief money expiring, stagnant funding, and rising expenses. The main message at that rally last night, make up the remaining budget shortfall and also ensure that the Board of Education is accountable in terms of how the budget is spent.
So we've had layoff notices. getting rid of 33 teachers and probably an equal number of non-certified staff. And now we have, I know, 120 or so teachers that need to be placed in other positions. So what that means is next year we can expect higher class sizes. Next year our students will not have as many opportunities for advanced placement, or they won't have as many elective courses.
And the clock is ticking on this issue. The city has until May 31st to pass a final budget to keep all the city services open on June 1st. We're live in the capital city this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Angela, thanks so much for the updates there. We'll check back. Well, meantime, at 6:05, it is the last day of the legislative session for lawmakers at the Capitol. So at the stroke of midnight, all the bills that have not passed both chambers will be considered dead. Lawmakers finalized plans for how the state will spend the rest of its American Rescue Plan funding. They sent a bill to the governor's desk that splits up $360 million in several ways. So here's a breakdown for you. $160 million will go to higher education, most of that going to UConn. The rest will be split up among 6 state universities and colleges. The state will also provide $50 million for nonprofits, $24 million for mental health services, and $21 million for early childhood education. The remaining money will go towards smaller projects across the state.
We're giving money to nonprofits. We're funding community colleges. If you're from Eastern Connecticut, we're funding UConn. We're funding Planned Parenthood so they can continue to provide services in this state.
Now, Democrats say this funding will help address the state's needs without having to adjust the budget that they passed last year. They say if they open the $26 billion budget for the 2024-25 fiscal year, they would be forced to make cuts and reductions to comply with spending cap rules. Republicans say this bill will create longer-term problems by not weaning institutions like UConn off of the COVID funding, which will not be around next year.
This is a dangerous budget for the state of Connecticut because what it is going to do is set us up for tax increases next year, and also we are going to be potentially now violating the spending caps this year and setting us up to undo those fiscal guardrails next year.
Republicans also reached out to Attorney General William Tong. They want him to investigate whether the decision to not open the budget is a violation of lawmakers' constitutional obligation. A bill designed to improve elder care in Connecticut is heading to the governor's desk. The measure would require more oversight in nursing homes. This includes the creation of an online portal where ratings and reviews can be collected. And stay with Connecticut's news station for the latest from the Capitol. On the final day of the legislative session, you can get updates anywhere, anytime on fox61.com and also on our free Fox 61 News app.
Well, police in Hamden said they're trying to find the man who shot another man yesterday morning. And at this point, they said they don't know who the shooter is. They said the victim doesn't know his attacker either. Here's what we do know. It happened at the intersection of Goodrich and Goodyear Streets. The victim is a 34-year-old man. Right now, he's stable at a hospital. He told officers the man shot him after an argument and then left the area. Firefighters in New Britain are trying to figure out how a large fire started at a building on High Street that happened last night near the corner of Columbus Boulevard, right across the street from the YMCA there. We're told nobody was hurt, and crews from Hartford and West Hartford helped with the response. Avon police have asked the public for help. They said they're trying to find the driver of a white 4-door sedan that was involved in a hit and run Saturday night. Police said that driver hit and seriously hurt somebody who was on a 3-wheeled motorcycle before driving away. It happened around 7 p.m. in the area of Waterville and Pine Hill roads. So if you saw that crash or if you know who did it, please call the Avon police. Well, state police said a man from New York died after being hit while he was walking on the highway in Enfield. They said T.J. Jennings was walking in the right lane of I-91 South at around 5:30 yesterday afternoon, right by exit 46, when he was hit by a car. Police said the driver stayed on the scene and no one in the car was hurt, but Jennings died at the scene. As of now, no charges have been filed.
The family of home health care nurse Joyce Grayson filed a lawsuit against her employer. Grayson was found dead at a home in Willimantic back in October. One of her patients is accused of killing her. Grayson's family is suing Elara Caring. Now, that's the company that she worked for. They say the company encouraged managers to shame, gaslight, and dismiss staff when they raised safety concerns.
What happened to my mother was a tragedy, but the greater tragedy is that her murder was entirely preventable. My family and I know that if those we have filed claims against had taken the safety of home health care nurses and the public more seriously, my mother would still be here today.
Grayson's family says their lawsuit is not about money. Instead, it's meant to make positive change. Last week, OSHA found the company should be fined for exposing home health care employees to workplace violence. Lawmakers recently passed a bill to strengthen protections for home health care workers.